Hello, now let's continue to the visualization part. So the visualization part, we are going to plot the frequency distribution table and then use the values that we have obtained from the visualization table to plot the histogram. So the first thing you're being told is to find the minimum. So in this case, for finding the minimum, I prefer adding and subtracting 0.1 so that the values can be so much inclusive. So the first thing I will do, I will come here and type is equals to mean. And you can see our difference values that we have found on the analysis sheet have been brought to this side. So I come here and say is equals to mean, and I highlight this difference column, only the data values. Then I will close the bracket, and then I will subtract 0.1. Yeah, then I press enter. So you can see the minimum. This is the minimum value, which is negative 0.62. So I make sure that you use the mean and then you subtract 1. Okay, so the next part will be find the maximum. So the maximum will now going to add is 0.1. So for the maximum, it will be equal to equal max, and then open the brackets and highlight the difference column only the data values, and they are from B12 to B61. Then please close the bracket. I'm going to close the bracket and we're going to add 0.1 like that. So you can see this is the maximum, which is obtained by finding the maximum of the difference, and then we are adding a plus 0.1, and this one is a minimum of the difference column, and then we are going to subtract a -1 for the minimum. For the bin width, we are going to subtract the maximum from the minimum from the maximum, and then we are going to divide the value that we have obtained with the number of classes. These are the classes here. So you come and count these ones like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the classes are 11. So you just come here and type is equals to into bracket maximum, and then you're subtracting the minimum, and you're closing the bracket and dividing by the number of the classes that we counted, and they were 11. So we divided by 11 and press enter. And with that, we can see our bin width is 1.49. So with that, we can now go and now find the lower limit. Our lower limit is equals to the bin mean. Press enter. And our minimum, our upper limit will be equal to this lower limit value, and we are going to add the bin width, this one. So remember, for the bin width you have to lock it, so you place F4 to lock it and then press enter, and this is the range. So from this 0.62 to 0.84. So that is how you find the upper limit. So the upper limit will be given by this one, and then for the lower limit, the next one, just come and place is equals to this value, the upper class limit, and press enter. And with that, you can come and also drag this one down, and from there now you can highlight these two and drag them down like that. And with this, you can be able to see the lower limit. The first lower limit is our bin mean, and the upper class limit here, the last one here, is the bin maximum. And with that, you are able to know that you have done it correctly. So for you to get this value there, for the mean max to be the last value of the upper limit, it literally tells you that you got it correctly. So the next one is to find the title of bin, which is obtained by, you can decide to add lower limit plus upper limit and divide by 2, or you can decide to use the average. For example, let's use the average first. So it's equals to average, and then it's the average of these two values. Press enter. That is the average, and you're dragging it down, and that is how you see the values. But you can also decide to do, I don't want to use the formula, I want to use the values only. So you come and click equal, then the lower limit plus the maximum limit, which is E20, 28, and then you're dividing by 2. You can see the value remains the same. For example, if I drag down, you can see this one will still be 1.615, like that. But anyway, I would prefer using the average one because it's much accurate and you're not prone to any errors. So I go back. Yes, and that is how you do it, to use the average. So use average to average these two values and you get the rate of bin. So the most challenging one is the frequency. This frequency we are going to use a long formula so that we can be able to count the values that fall in between here. We want to find the values that are between negative 0.62 and 0.787 and this one here. So the first thing, we are going to use the county formula, and this is evidence from the notes. The notes tells us to use the county's formula. So the first, I will come and click here on cells G28, and I will come and open my cube and say is equals to count ifs, not if, count ifs, this one. So we are counting the criteria range. Our criteria range is this cell, the B12 to B61. So I highlight this one, B up to down there, and then I'm going to say comma. The criteria that we are going to put is, open the quotation marks, and we are going to say greater than, type greater than, and then close the quotation mark, and then we're going to say end, click the end, and for the end we are going to use the D, this value, the lower limit. Array the lower limits from D20 to D38, and then press comma. I write, now we are going to the criteria range again. Yes, we are selecting this B12, B61, like that. And then we are going to say comma again, and then we're going to put the criteria 2. The criteria 2 is, open also the quotation marks, now less than, and now the criteria range 3, which is this, the upper limit, and this value from E28 to E38. And with that we close our bracket, and after closing the bracket we press enter. But before I press enter, so with this formula, it will, as you have seen, we have highlighted all this. So it means that when we press enter, we'll get the frequency for all these values up down there. So when I press enter, you get the values for all. You can see we have gotten the frequency for all these columns. So the next thing is to find the relative frequency. The relative frequency will be given by, is equals to the frequency that we have obtained. Now we are going to divide by the sum. I open the brackets. I prefer using opening the brackets. Open the bracket and type sum, and then highlight the frequency, all of them. Then rock it with A4, and then close the brackets. So I close it many times like that, and you can see we have closed the bracket, and now we can highlight the formula down, because we remember we have locked these ones. So I highlight it down up to there, and then we are going to format this one as a percentage, like this. Press the percentage. So like this, you can see the percentage are like that. So something else, if you want to know if you are correct, the frequency should be 50. So you'll come here and say, let me confirm if the frequency at 50, so it's equals to sum, and we highlight this frequency. Because it's 50. The relative frequency percentage should also add up to 100%. So you can also confirm so that you can know you are correct. So it's equals to sum of these percentages and press enter. And with that you can see they are also 100%. So this means that we have been able to compute those values correctly. So for easy, let me click here so you can see how we found the lower limit. So the lower limit is our bin mean. Then like that. So I've clicked on this so you can be able to see the formula up here for the upper limit and like that. You can also follow how I've done it and you'll be able to see how to do it. This is the most tricky for the formula, this one, for the frequency. So you can copy it as it is. The values are the same, the cells are the same, so there's nothing to worry about. So that is how the formula is, and that's how you can copy it and use it in your Excel. So the last part is to do the histogram that we are told here. Use the histogram and put it here. Then label the x-axis, the values from the title of bin, etc, the chart title and more. So this is the easiest part. So what you do is we are using the title of bin, these values and the frequency values. So what you do, you highlight the title of bin and the frequency values like that. Then come to insert. And for this one, I would I direct you to use the recommended charts here, the recommended charts, and then you select this one, the clustered column, and press OK. And that is our histogram, but it's not fully done. So you can type the formula, the chart title to be frequency distribution. Frequency distribution. You can use this formula for tests score differences. Test score differences. And then differences. Then press enter. Okay, sorry. And then come here on the plus sign, click on the plus sign and come and click axis title. So for the y-axis is the frequency, which gives us the number, and for the bottom one is the title of bin, as it is written there, title of bin. Okay, and with that we have already done it, and we can see before I complete editing this, I would like us to go back here. This one we have been told to put them as number into decimal places. Come here, number here, and then number, and then to decimal places, and then place OK. And for this one is also number, but we are making them to be 0. So number, and then this one should be 0. The number of decimal place should be 0, like that. So this one, as you click, you can see it's a percentage as it's supposed to be, and that is it. Now I've already done the graph part. So I will just drag this value to where you're supposed to put it. It's supposed to be here. And for it to be a good histogram, should touch each other. These columns there should be no spacing. So what I do to remove the spacing, I'll click here on any column and then I click from a data series. And then you see this part that says gap width. I'll come and drag it like that to 0. Make sure the gap width is 0. And with that you can see the graphs are touching each other. The column, sorry. And then you can come here and click on this part, this one that looks like a bucket. Then click on border. On border, I want us to click on solid line, and I want us to use the color of black. This one. And that is it. With it, you can see the columns they are touching, and that is how you do the visualization part. I prefer making it Times New Roman 12, but it's not necessary. And I make it font 12, like that. And with that, we have our histogram, and that is how you're supposed to do that part. In case you have some inquiries or some part is not clear, I will share my email on the description of the video. Yes, so please subscribe and see you soon with more videos.